Welcome to the channel, guys. My name's Christina, and today I'm going to share with you our schedules and how I plan for the upcoming year. Okay, guys, so today I am just moving around in our homeschool room, and I wanted to share with you some schedules that I have planned out for the upcoming year. I thought that would be fun to share. I'm trying to get things done, a little here, a little there. So by the time we hit our official, unofficial end date for the school year, I can relax a little bit. We do kind of continue school all year round, so we'll have something going on, but I still want to have the majority of my planning for the upcoming year done so I can kind of relax alongside the rest of the family. So today I'm going to share. So welcome to the channel. If you are new here, I am excited for you to be here. I am a homeschool mom to two. We are moving into our 6th year of homeschooling, and it's been a blessing. I've homeschooled my eldest from her second half of kindergarten all the way through, she's going into 6th grade. And my son has been homeschooled the entire way through. So it's been an amazing experience, and I never thought I would be on this journey, but the Lord had a plan, and here we are. So I am going to share with you what I've been kind of doing. So I've been in here just prepping some things. I prepped some books. So I got our nature study that we'll be doing in the summer with the Burgess Bird Book. And I made another planner for my daughter. So I changed the cover. She wants to be a baker and have a bakery when she's older. So I thought I'd change the cover last year. It was just kind of a floral theme. And so I changed it. We really like these. I just print enough for the weeks. Where we live, we have to have 36 weeks. So we are in Indiana in the Midwest, so that is just what I printed. And these have been really simple planner pages. So I just do 36 of them, bind it, and she's got a planner for the year. Now this is from scatteredsquirrel.com. I can try to link them below. They had like a female coloring, which is this like blue pink. And then they have a more boyish option, I believe. So I have those for when I start my son on a planner, but he's not ready for that. So I just fill out, and I usually do this in the morning the day of. I don't do like a whole week in advance. But I fill out whatever it is she needs to do that day in the morning. And then she's able to kind of check it off as she gets it done. It helps her stay organized. She likes to have a list. She likes to know what to do because she wants to move ahead and get as much done as she possibly can. So this has been a really good planner. Just super simple. She doesn't need all the extras. And I've also prepped our Mystery of History notebooks for Volume 1. She does give the writer of the curriculum gives some options in the, the companion guide that comes with the reader. There are there are three. So there's younger, middle, and older options for notebooking pages. So this is the middle. So this would be for my eldest. And the lines are just a little smaller. And it's just kind of like a notebooking page for each reading that you will do. And we're going to probably do the 3-day-a-week option. So we'll be reading 3 sections a week and then doing a notebooking page. Now with the older options inside the companion guide, there's like, instead of notebooking, it's like question answer type stuff. And I may still pick from that for my eldest, but just to have a solid notebook, I just wanted to print the actual notebooking pages, which is a separate option that you have to buy in a PDF. So they give you just a notebooking page for whatever section you went over that day. So this is for the younger because it has the kind of wider lines, and then the middle has kind of the more narrow. And I ended up getting the timeline figures from homeschoolprintables.net. So I went with these. They do have options from another company, Homeschool in the Woods, I believe it's called. If I could turn this page here. So this is kind of what they look like. And you just color them in and add them to the timeline book, which we have the a timeline book that I've shown. So that's going to be for this book here. So this is my son's. So it's blank. My daughter has started hers. She did all her American history already in the timeline book. So we're just going to use these. So I thought it'd be fun for them to kind of make it their own and color them in. If they don't want to color them in, they don't have to. But these are written for Mystery of Histories. So I have these in the back. They each have their copies. And then they can cut them out and add them whenever we get to them. So there are also I've also printed some of the companion guide for me. So this is my resource. It has like all the book lists, kind of an idea of how to schedule everything, and what I think we're going to do. We will do the pre-test, which we'll probably just do orally. We'll go over the pre-test orally. And then there's always like an activity, and they break it down. So here's an activity for all students, which this is, they want you to add dividers for the consonants, and then whenever you're doing a map exercise, you can put them in the section of the continent that it belongs. And this is something they would be doing if they did all of the volumes. So they would just keep adding onto that as they move through the Mystery of History series. I haven't decided if I'm going to have the kids do that, because this is our first time kind of trying it out. I want to see how it feels if we decide to continue with the volume 2 in a couple years. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see if we're going to do that. But that is an option. And then we have, so you have your activity section. So it gives you your activity. It will say all students for everybody, or it'll break it down to younger, middle, and older. So we can pick from here. It's nice that I'll have 2 options, because some of the younger I feel like are too young for my youngest, and you know, you can kind of just meet them where they're at. So then you have your activity. So every lesson we don't have to do an activity, but it's nice that they offer it. And we'll also be reading books along with the series as well. And then after a few lessons 1 through 3, they'll have like a review. So we can review everything that we've read, which I really like how this keeps reviewing. It helps to kind of instill how the history is learned and remembered. And then there's also mapping. So what I did, we like to do a Sabbath school. So like 6 weeks of school, and then a Sabbath week we take off. So I did the first 6 weeks. And then on that Sabbath week, I'll go ahead and print the next. And I think that should work pretty good for us. So that's kind of how I gotta change some of the tabs in here. I just threw some dividers in here. We have answer keys and more supplemental books and different resources that I can pull from back here. So that's kind of how I'm setting up the Mystery of History for us so far. And I think it'll be good. I might need a bigger binder. These or I think are 1/2 inch. And they will be adding maps and stuff in here, so it is going to get thicker. So I don't know if I should just get a 2 inch. This is, yeah, this might be a little small. I don't know. We'll see. But so far, I think that's going to work out well. Okay, so I've also printed out a planner, and I know I bought a planner. You saw like a haul that I posted. I bought a planner. I bought another homeschool planner. I bought another homeschool planner like this, which I really love. I think it's a great planner. It's got like everything that I would need, and keeps it so super basic. Doesn't have all like the extras, but it still kind of does have some extras that I don't use. And I got emailed a planner from our Association for Home Educators, and I just really liked the pages in there. So then I got it in my head that I'm gonna print a planner for myself this year, and that's what I did. So I will just keep that maybe for down the road or pass it on. I don't know, but I have been working on putting it together and using some other resources from some other free planners that I have already saved onto my device. So I wanted to kind of personalize it and add to it. So here is a school calendar. So this is one that came with that free planner that I was sent. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and fill out the school calendar. Now this is the basic way everybody does. I feel like everybody does it this way. I don't know. I've yet to meet somebody who doesn't plan out their year like this. But I'm sure there's other ways. This is how I've always done it, and it really helps me stay accountable and stay on target for the year. Okay, so I have done the calendar. Now how I like to do it, I use a few different highlighters. I highlight obviously the weekends, and any weeks that we'll be taking off are in purple and pink. Now the purple are definite like holidays that we'll be taking off, and the pink are kind of adjustable. Those are our Sabbath weeks, give or take. Some of them are a little less. And these weeks can, you know, move around if need be. Say we want to take an impromptu vacation or sick days, or, you know, whatever can come up, which a lot can come up in a year. So I like to have these that are flexible, and I can move these around if I need be. Now, our start date would be August 18th, and then we would end on June 25th. Now, during the holiday, sometimes we do holiday schooling. I will count that as a day. So where I live, I do have to do 180 days. So I have to make sure that I count that and I add that into my records. So I do like to count those 180 days to have like a focus point onto where it is will end. But that can also change depending on what we do during our holiday school. So that can vary, but I do like to have kind of an idea. If we decided we're taking all of this off, we need this off, then I know that we're stopping in late June. But it really just depends on how the year is going, what we're doing, all of that. But any sort of school that we do, I do end up counting. So this varies, and it doesn't always end when I plan it to. It can end before. So that's kind of what I do. I mark all the days we're taking off and our Sabbath weeks, and then I count the weeks on the side because I want to just see where that 36 week end would be. It doesn't always match because because of the days that we take in between here, just to have an understanding. So that's kind of what it's looking like for us. Now, I did get some schedules done. So what's really nice about planning, however you plan, you know, if you use Excel, or I like to use just the Google Sheets, and I planned this way last year, and it was really helpful to have that visual inside my planner of what we're doing. So all I had to do really was kind of plug in what we're doing this year, and it made it really easy. I didn't have to create a new template or anything. I just had to plug in the new things that we were doing. So this is our morning time. We have Monday through Friday here at the top, and it is kind of small, so hopefully this is clear enough. But Mondays we have Bible, Catechism, and Taking the Americas for Jesus. Now this is going to be our music component, so we're doing hymn, folk song, and a classical piece daily. So just now the classical, it's not we're not studying a composer, we're just kind of listening to some modern, some not, of classical artists, and just to get an ear for that. We're going to do elementary zoology. Now we are using the video component, which I don't even think I mentioned in our family subject video, but we are using that. So we're kind of going to follow a full week. We're going to end up doing that 4 days a week, just to follow along with the video lessons as well, which I think will be a fun component to add to the science this year. And then we have our literature and poetry. So we always do this in our morning times. So the first few days of the week is a history-based read aloud that has to do with our history for that year and the time period. And the other two are more of like a literature, like a fun literature-based read or novel. And our mystery of history, we will be doing 3 times a week. So the only difference on Tuesdays, instead of taking the Middle East for Jesus and Catechism, that's only 1 day a week, we're doing just the answer book for kids, just a question out of there. And that carries through Tuesday through Thursday. And then Friday, we still do Bible, answers for kids, our music components, and then we'll be doing elementary geography and cultures. So we'll move through that a little bit slower, but I'm hoping to pull books from the library to go along with that course. So I think that'll be fun. And we're going to alternate between our Burgess Bird unit, which we are actually going to start in the summer. So we should get a good amount of that done before summer ends, and we'll just finish that throughout the year, alternating with our art. So we're going to alternate that. And then once we finish Burgess Birds, we're just going to focus on art. And then Spanish with Dad will be on Fridays as well. So that is kind of what our morning time will look like. And whenever I get our initial morning basket filled of what we're going to be starting with, I can share that with you guys down the road. But that is our family subjects. Now here is my rising 3rd grader. So on Monday he is doing Rod and Staff English, spelling, handwriting. We still do calendar time, so we practice that daily. He'll also have some memory cards that I'm gonna fill out for him instead of doing like a memory folder, you know, where you're kind of going through the folder every morning. I'm gonna write some index cards of some things I want him to memorize, and he'll just go over that in his morning time. So I think that'll be a help, and we can just keep it with his stuff and he can go through that daily. He's going to be reading from his 101 Bible stories, and drawing a picture and doing some copy work from that. He'll be doing phonics, math, creative writing, which he comes up with a story, whether it's I give him a prompt or we're using story dice. We love story dice here. It really brings out a lot of creativity with the kids. So he does that, and he'll draw a picture and write a story in his notebook. We will be doing mystery of history and elementary zoology, like I mentioned, from our family schedule. Now, anything highlighted here are things that he'll be doing with me. So that just lets me know that I might need to be, sitting there with him while he's working on these things. So I like to keep that highlighted. It depends. Like sometimes there'll be a math lesson he can do on his own. It really just depends on what we're doing. But for the most part, like even with spelling, he might be able to do the activity on his own. But for the most part, these are things that I will be sitting with him and working with him alongside. So here's Tuesday again. His rod and staff, spelling, handwriting, calendar. The only thing different on this day for reading, we're doing the McGuffey reader. So he'll read aloud a lesson to me from here. And that's really the only different thing on Tuesday. On Wednesday, the only difference is we'll be doing a reading from the Horizons reading that I shared in his curriculum video. It's just a anthology of different stories. It's a book they used in the schools, and I just have it. So we're going to use that and do some of the activities out of there. And that's about the only difference there. On Thursdays, the difference, we're going to be reading the McGuffey again. And he's going to be doing a lesson out of his drawing book. So that is, again, an elective that I picked for him that is in his video as well. So he'll be doing a lesson. I'll probably do a lesson alongside with him just for fun. And then on Fridays, here is our family subject. So everything that I mentioned, he will be doing his spelling test on Fridays, and a lesson from just a reading comprehension workbook that he'll be doing that should be pretty much independent. He'll be starting typing this year, so he's going to be doing typing.com. So he'll do a lesson from that, and of course Spanish. So those are what I have planned for him and how the day will look. Now this is my rising 6th grader. So on Mondays, sorry if this camera, I'm trying to keep it as still as possible. So on Mondays we have the 10-minute Bible and the more than words. So she'll be doing that during her independent time. Her ACE English, spelling, handwriting, she'll be doing a vocabulary lesson. She'll read for 20 minutes of the readers that I have picked for her. She'll be doing a lesson from her literature that I've picked this year. This is from Christian Liberty Press. This is Discovering New Worlds. She'll be doing a lesson from that. Her math and our family subjects. Now Tuesday, again, she'll be doing her Bible work, English, spelling. The only thing different on Tuesday would be writing. So she'll be doing a writing lesson. And that's the thing that's different there. Wednesday, everything's the same. She'll be doing, instead of writing, vocabulary. So we're going to alternate vocabulary and writing. And she'll read 20 minutes. Yeah, that's all that's different there. Thursday, what's different? Writing. So we're alternating vocabulary and writing. She'll do vocabulary twice a week and writing twice a week. She will be working on her president's unit here. Now, we've been working on this for a little bit now. We started it probably, I don't know, the tail end maybe of 4th grade. So she worked through it all last year, but there's been times that we put it to the side because we were working on something else that had precedence. So this is, for me, is learning how to take notes and learning about our presidents and getting familiar with those. So it's not really how long it takes. I just want her to work through that and just get better at, you know, note taking and all of that. So she's filling out a notebook for this. She's almost done. We'll definitely finish it this year, probably early on in the year. So once that's done, she'll start her managing your money book. So she'll be reading from that every week. That's kind of a financial literacy. So that's what she'll be doing. But she'll finish this president's unit first before we get into that. So this is kind of like a civics block where I'm putting something in there for her for that. That'll be on Thursdays. And then we have just elementary zoology. Now on Fridays, she will be working on her fun schooling journal, which is a Baker's Fun Schooling Journal. She's actually already started that. She was so excited to have it. So she's working on that already. And it's just causing her to be a little, think outside the box, be a little more creative about her joy of baking and her desire to do that for a living. So it's just giving her some ideas, and she's playing with recipes and all of that. So this will be really fun, and just giving her another block on Fridays to maybe make a new recipe or do whatever it is she wants to do. We have our art lesson alternated with our bird unit. She'll do her spelling test. She works on logic, which is just the mind benders. She works on that on Fridays. And typing, which is just a typing workbook that she works through and gives her tons of practice. So she just opens up a Word doc and works on it that way. Term 3, we're going to work on her health resource. But I don't feel the need to pull it out until the end of next year. So term 3 is when she and I will start reading through that. And then we have our geography. Now this is open for updates and changes because I just kind of plugged things in where I thought they fit best. But that's kind of what our schedule is going to look like for my rising 6th and 3rd grader and our family subjects. Now, we implemented a daily rhythm this current year. Here's the one that is on the board still, which I haven't taken down. And it worked really well. Like, this was just really good. Before last year, we were starting our school days at 10 and just kind of working through things. So depending on, you know, how the day went, our days could run later. And obviously my son was younger. So, I mean, it would kind of level out. But now that, you know, my youngest has just got more under his belt that he needs to do, and I want to be able to work with both my children. There's a lot that I like to continue to work with my rising 6th grader on and sit with her. She's not, you know, I don't want her doing everything on her own. So we kind of implemented this to give me some cushion to work with both of them. So now we start our day at 9 a.m. So the kids wake up before that. They have breakfast and they get some morning chores done. Obviously get dressed. We always get dressed for the day. They get ready, brush their teeth, do their hair, you know, all of that. And I want them sitting at the table at 9 a.m. So they sit at the table at 9 a.m. to do independent work. So that could be like handwriting, math drills, any math work that maybe they can do. It really benefits my daughter when she does do math. I do have it down here, but sometimes she'll fit it in the morning, and I think her days just go a lot smoother. But I leave it up to her. Whatever she can do on her own, she tries to fit in this hour block here. So between 9 and 10, they're working on independent work. With my son, whatever he gets done, then I come and check it and have him fix anything that maybe he got wrong. And we do that in this block. 10 a.m. we go in the living room and we sit and watch World Watch. This is something we started this past year, which I did not mention in my kind of year-end review. There was a few things I think I forgot to mention in our year-end review, but World Watch has just been a wonderful asset to our homeschool, you know, just following up on current events, and just keeping us informed of what's going on in the world and allowing us to have those rich conversations about that. And it's a Christian news program, so it always brings that back into our thinking when we're thinking about some of the atrocities and terrible things going on in the world. We know that God's in control, and it reminds us of that. So we've really enjoyed World Watch this year. So at 10 a.m. that's what we do. We go and sit and watch that. And then we come back into the homeschool room and we do our family subjects. So that is everything that I showed you here. We'll be working on that up until lunch. So however long that takes. If we finish that before lunch, then the kids are jumping into some subjects that they have left to do for the day up until 12 p.m. 12 p.m. we take our lunch break. If the kids finish their lunch quickly, then they'll work on whatever chores they have for the day up until 1 o'clock. You know, if they're caught up on their chores, then, which sometimes my daughter is, she'll just come back right after she eats. It could be in this window here, and she'll continue working on her stuff. My kids usually are motivated to go do something else. Like, they want to get their work done. So if they can find some time to work on that and get it done earlier, they'll usually opt for that. So 1 o'clock though, we are sitting back at the table and the kids are working on their independent things, whatever they need me for. Usually I'm working with my son initially to work on and all his stuff that I showed you that was kind of highlighted on his schedule here. So a lot of this is what we're working on, whatever's left that he couldn't do on his own. And I didn't put timestamps here because this here works for us, the timestamps, but everything else is more of a rhythm, whatever they have left when we come back here. Now here I did put 45 minutes because 45 minutes is kind of what we've set for ourselves to get math done for my daughter. She does Saxon, and with Saxon, we only do every other, like she does the lesson for the day. She does the problems of the new concept of whatever she learned in the video lesson. And then we do every other problem for the mixed review problems. So I don't want her working on math forever because sometimes Saxon can get long. But it's really shortened our time, like skipping the problems. But we give a max time of 45 minutes. So the 5 minutes is her drill that she does. She does that for 5 minutes, so she times herself. And the 40 minutes is the rest of the lesson. And that includes a video. That includes whatever it is. She's just max doing math for 45 minutes. So I did add that on here. Just to keep us, you know, so we remember, she just, you know, she does a timer and she sets the timer. And when that timer goes off, she's done with math. She closes the book and she'll continue with whatever she left off the following day. So then whatever's left, whether they got language arts, reading, whatever's left is going to be kind of like right here. This is our miscellaneous and whatever's left. So this is kind of our daily rhythm. And it's worked really well this year. So definitely going to continue doing that. And it's caused our days to go a lot smoother for sure. So that is the schedules. So my planner now, I will be putting these inside the planner. So I'm going to get this bound at my local office supply store. So this all will, including my calendar, will all be in the front of the planner after the cover. Now with this I did add, so I have like various pages from different free resources, but I did add a reading log and a field trip log. I have a course of study So I can add that. Memory verses. This was in that free resource, and I was like, I love this, so I can keep track. We memorized the Beatitudes this year. The kids did really well, and I definitely want to do another long passage to memorize next year, and we'll do some short ones, and I thought this would be good to kind of keep track of that, and then I can just check it off when they have memorized it. So they've got one for each child. I do have kind of thicker paper here to section off some things. So each kid has a section. So this is my daughter's section, a reading log to keep track of what she's reading, just notes, and attendance records. So I'll keep her records here, and a place to grade. So I do like to keep all their tests and scores in one place, so this will be helpful for me to do that. Here's another section for my son. I don't know if you hear my dog, but she's sitting next to me over here. So his reading log, notes, attendance records, and a space for grades. Then I have another section for lesson plans. Here is just an at a glance, so I'll have my month at a glance here, and on the back is like a command central place just to keep any extracurriculars. Both my kids are in some extracurriculars throughout the week, so I like to keep track of what we're doing in the evenings, and this was perfect. This came in that free resource too. This is a place for my personal reading, my exercise, my outings, and a to-do list. So I thought that was awesome, and I added that to the back of the monthly page. So that's just going to be nice for me to keep track. And then this is from another, this is what, I don't know, Living Life and Learning. I just used the week of. I really liked how simple this was in here. So it's just kind of like, you know, the day, and then just like a block. And again, I am a mother of 2 that I'm homeschooling, so I don't have a huge family that I need to keep track of. And with me, I reverse plan, so I'm literally just adding whatever I do with my son here, because I made the planner for my daughter. In the mornings, I write what she's doing in here. So this is where I keep track of her stuff, and I just reverse plan whatever I did with my son here. Now, any test scores and stuff, I will keep a note of whatever my daughter did get, and I'll keep it in here just as a reference. But the majority, I'm gonna get this to focus. The majority will be in here for my son. So, and then every month I do have the monthly pages tucked in there. So the next section is just extras. So just another section where I'll keep our special memories, things I want to remember. It has child, the date, and the event. We have a school budget tracker. So I like this when I usually start buying for the upcoming year after the holidays. So this will give me a place just to keep track of what it is I'm spending, you know, which is always good. I have a grading system here, which helps me with grading. It's just a standard system. And then just pages for notes back here. So I've got open pages and then lined pages. And that's kind of what my planner looks like. So that's pretty much done, and I will go ahead and get this bound probably within the next couple weeks, and just get a coil binding from the office supply store. But I decided after seeing that I could really just personalize this planner, and I like that a lot better than because with this I have to tape in a lot of things like the schedules I taped in here. Let me show you. So that's kind of how I kept the schedules. So we're doing that, and hopefully you enjoyed that. I've got a list in this book, and I'm just checking them off. So I wanted to share with you some of the things that I've gotten done when planning for the upcoming year, our schedules, and hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions about anything I shared with you today, please just leave a question down below and I will respond. I appreciate you sitting with me on this video, and all of our new subscribers, thank you. I welcome you, and I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you all have a good one. I will see you in my next video. God bless.